start my Christmas Eve. The hour is late. I should go to bed. Near midnight, I believe. But memories keep me wide awake this snowy Christmas Eve. Yes, memories of my kids moved on. Each has their separate life. And how the holidays have changed since angels took my life. The toys, the food, the Christmas cheer, my wife would bear that load. Because I work most holidays, state trooper on the road. Just sitting in my easy chair, so many years retired, I reminisce of times gone by and all that has transpired. Of all the many happenings that seem to come to light, a multitude of them occurred right on this very night. A drunken woman in a wreck died on Christmas Eve. These memories of a tragic case most people won't believe. I had to drive to where she lived to tell her next of kin, and found a rundown mobile home that she'd been living in. The person answering the door, I still recall today. A girl about 4 years old, and she said, "I'm Sue McKay." I asked her if her dad was home, and felt the longest pause. She said, "My daddy ran away. You must be Santa Claus." My mommy said you'd come tonight if I just stayed in bed and bring a pretty doll for me. That's what my mommy said. I broke the law that Christmas Eve, did not call child care. They merely put her in a room, and that I could not bear. I picked her up and took her home. My wife tucked her in bed, then wrapped a pretty doll for her, just like her mommy said. Adopted by a loving home, and soon they moved away. I won't forget that Christmas Eve and little Sue McKay. Another bitter Christmas Eve, a blizzard to behold, had left a family in the ditch, just trapped there in the cold. By grace of God, I spotted them, all cold and gaunt with fright. I drove them to a motel room to safely spend the night. One Christmas, a homeless man, shivering and wet, was trying hard to get a ride I'm sure he'd never get. I picked him up and drove him to a restaurant on the hill. To warm his bones, I left him with a crisp $5 bill. Strange how when you're all alone, what memories you recall. You think of everything you've done, and was it worth it all? Then comes a knock upon my door. This late, who could that be? A neighbor, or has Santa Claus come to visit me? The figure standing in the cold gives me a sudden fright. A trooper with a solemn look. Dear God, who died tonight? I'm flashing back to bygone years, how I'd often stood on someone's porch to bring the news, and it was never good. Is this how life gets back at me? for miseries I've induced, where pain I've caused some other folks, has now come back to roost. But looking in the trooper's eyes, my mind is in a whirl. I see a pleasant contentness. The trooper is a girl. She reached and smiled to shake my hand. The silence wasn't broke until a tear rolled down her cheek, and then she softly spoke. I'm sure you don't remember me, but thought I'd just stop and say, God bless you on this Christmas Eve. I'm Trooper Sue McKay.